Hello everyone, this is Johannes.
And this is Sunniva.
And you are watching Board Gaming Ramblings.
And today we are taking a look at Wiled Tiled West.
This is a game from Paul Dennen, published by Dire Wolf.
It plays from 1 to 5 players in 45 to 90 minutes.
Wiled Tiled West is a game that I think it was Gen Con release last year, and I think that it was it randomly popped up. I hadn't really seen anything about it, and then people were like, this is a great game. And it was impossible to get in Europe, especially in Norway, because it's impossible to get board games in Norway. And suddenly we got a hold to be able to borrow a copy, so we got it, and we will tell you about it. First, we'll let you know just how crazy board game prices are getting in Norway, because you know how crazy they are getting in everywhere in the world. But if you check this price of this game, it's not going to be the same as in Norway, because in Norway, it's about $95.
It's through the roof.
Yes.
In a negative way.
In a very negative way. So, Wiled Tiled West looks like it's going to be a Western action game on the front of the cover.
Yeah, I love the cover.
But it's not, which makes me happy, because I don't like action Western games.
Yes.
I want drafting and tile laying puzzle games, which is what this game is. You are going to be drafting tiles over, I don't remember exactly how many rounds there are. I think it's like 5, 4, 4, and 3. I think maybe something like that. Which then ends up to being 16. It might be 16 or 17.
Spaces with the caravan moves.
Yes, that is true.
Which equals rounds.
That is true.
Perfect.
Yeah, you have played the game, right?
Yes.
Yes, you know how it works. You're just like, I don't know what's going on here. You are going to be drafting tiles. Each round you're going to draft tiles. You're going to roll some dice. They're going to be placed around these super nice boards. We need to talk about them. And you are going to then be able to draft tiles that are adjacent to the dice. You're placing the tiles on your player board. There are 8, which means there's 16 different player boards in the game. I'm pretty sure, I think there's 16, with different setups and different layouts of your board. You're going to be placing in the beginning, you have to place in the middle, and you have to place adjacent to that, so you have to make a network. And there's many things on them. We're going to talk more about the different things on them, but there's many different reasons to choose different tiles. You're going to try to score points in many different ways. You're going to try to score points for some end game scoring goals. And then at the end of the round, you're going to have a tussle. Try to have the least visible bandits on your player board, and you're going to get positive and negative points depending on how you are doing in that regards. And then you're going to get some income, which you can also upgrade throughout the game. And you're basically trying to get the most points during these X amount of rounds. I don't exactly remember how many drafting rounds there are gonna be. This game has artwork in it.
Yes.
And we have seen it. And components, actually.
Yeah, actually.
And we've seen it with our eyes.
Yes.
And you know all about that. Let me hear.
I do. I really love the artwork in this game. It has clear symbology, which I really do enjoy. In a tile-laying game, it's very important to see what areas are which buildings and which pastures are there, so you can plan ahead for what to build next. I also love the boards that you are drafting from, because they are like, I don't know, triple, double, many layered.
Big layered.
Big layered, a thick layer, so that every piece has a specific place. So when you tear down and set up, it's very easy because it has, it's already placed there.
I love this. There's 4 of these boards, and it is just so clever. Because the only thing when you're playing with 2 players, you have to remove 1 tile from everything from the outside of the boards. But other than that, it's basically just when you're done, you put it in, and you're gonna ready to set up. You're gonna put it on the table, and you're ready to go.
You're good to go.
It's so good. Yes. And I agree with you on everything. Basically, I love the, as you say here, you say the towns that you can fill in. Everything is so clear.
Yeah.
But still, it's nice. It's not one where the artwork then isn't fun. I really think the artwork is fun. Did you have anything else to add for the artwork?
Yes.
Yes?
No.
You did have?
No.
No, you didn't. Then we're going to continue. We're going to talk about the rulebook. This is not the best rulebook I have ever read. I had some problems. I don't know why. It was just not done in a way that made it easy for me to understand all the concepts. Sometimes it's basically because I enjoy rulebooks being written in a specific way, but I read so many rulebooks, I'm used to many different ways of reading them. But I think it was a good rulebook, but not a great, fantastic rulebook. But the game is pretty simple, so it wasn't that hard. It is 16 pages long, but there is a solo mode at the end, and also like some strategy tips, and also you have like a variant where you can play with the other side of the board. So I said it was 16. It's like with a caveat. There is 8 different boards, but they also have a backside with like some advanced abilities or negative things in them. So did we play the game?
Yes, we have played it with 2 and 4 players, and it has taken us about an hour.
Which is a great amount of time.
Yeah.
I think that is like perfect. The box says up to 90 minutes. I think that would probably happen if you played it with 5. But we played it with 4 in an hour, and even though like all of us hadn't played before, so it wasn't it was like not one where you played it many times and then you know the rules. It was a pretty simple game to get into.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like it was a nice choice to just have the player turn order, play order, just like go clockwise around. Sometimes in drafting games, you like turn order is a big deal.
Yeah.
And in this game also, when we played with 4 players, when you're at like the 3rd or 4th spot, you're like thinking about what tiles you would have available.
Yes.
And I like that there are always one more to draft from than the number of players.
Let's talk a bit about how the drafting works, because you're going to have some 20-sided dice and you're going to have some 8-sided dice. You're going to roll them depending on how many players you are, depending on how many dice you're going to roll. But you're going to roll them and you're going to place them then out on these boards, and they're going to have spaces as you see here, and also probably some pictures like 11, 12, 13, and then the other side of the board. And then you are going to be able to draft the tiles that are adjacent to that. So let's say there is a 13. If you want to draft a tile there, you have to draft this tile, but if all of these are gone, then you will be able to draft this tile. And when you're drafting tiles in the river, you will be able to pay your way across them. So if there's a die here and I don't want this, but I want this, I can then pay a gold to skip this and then pay 2 gold to take the tile. And I think it's a great way of like randomizing the tiles you can draft. I feel like in the beginning, it's a weird game, because in the beginning it feels kind of random which tiles get available, but the more tiles that are drafted, the more tiles kind of are easier to get to. You know what I mean? Like it feels later in the game it's going to be easier to get the tiles you want.
Yeah, sometimes when there's, as you said, some tiles are taken, like all of them, then suddenly there are more dice that could lead to the specific tiles that you want.
Also, you have like some of the tiles are free, and most of the tiles that are free are either small tiles, worse tiles, or have bandits on them.
Yes, so that means that you want to get your income up, which you get by placing on the mine symbols on your player board to get gold, so you can get the better tiles.
I think that the randomness in the rolls is kind of... I'm one that always is annoyed by the randomness, but this is a tactical game. Like it is, you cannot go the whole game and build up and say, oh, I'm going to get that scoring tile, because you don't know if that scoring tile will ever be available to you. On the other hand, like the last time we played, you can be in a situation where Sunniva magically gets the tile score for like 60,000 points randomly because of the way you had played, and then the one scoring tile did come available and was available to you on your turn.
Yes, and you could then see that, okay, you really need that, that would score you a lot of points, would then I take that, even though it doesn't score me that much, just to hinder you from getting it.
Yeah, so of course that's going to come into hate drafting and all of that.
Yes.
But you're going to get few tiles in this game, so... in the first time we played, I was like thinking, oh, I get to fill my whole board, I get to do this, and then suddenly the game is done. So you kind of have to, even though it's tactical, you kind of have to have a plan.
Yes.
So you can kind of have a strategy and some like goals you're going to try to go for, but you don't know exactly if you're going to get to do it like 100% or if you're going to get to do it like an 70%, 80%.
Yeah, you have this loose plan of what you're trying to achieve. I think the puzzle in itself is really fun and interesting because there are several things that you want to achieve, and as you said, you can't do them all.
Cannot do them all.
You can't do
Wiled
them
Tiled
all.
West.
Yes. So you have a loose plan of, okay, I want to fill this town up, so I get those points, and maybe I want to go for some bandits so I can shoot them down with the sheriff, so I have to think of that placement. And also you can get negative points if you don't cover up some of the horseshoes.
Yes.
So you want to do that as well. There's basically a lot of things you can do, but like there's many pieces that can fit into the plan that you have.
Even though like there's many symbols, many ways, it doesn't feel overcomplicated.
No, I agree.
It feels like most of them are pretty simple. You have like the cards, which is set collection. You have the cows, which is kind of a set collection, but you have to like make a pasture with the cows in it. And at the end of your turn, you can kind of like wrangle in the cows. And if you do that, you kind of use up that field. So then you need to get something in between. And most of the tiles have like some field on them. So you're trying to then make a new pasture somewhere else so that you can score it again. And the first player who scores one of these is going to get like a better bonus for scoring them, because you have like bonuses for having 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 cows in the field and scoring points for that as well. That's like one of the main strategies to go for. It's like a heavy cow strategy.
Yes.
You did that last time. It went really well.
Yeah, it was very nice. But you, as you said, there's many directions to go in this game. I think the hardest thing to keep track of in this game is how the sheriff aims at the bandits. It's very simple, really, but he can't shoot through buildings or mines or cows, which makes sense. But sometimes my brain just like, oh, I'm aligning those two. Oh, wait, there's a cow in between, so he can't shoot him.
There is also some end of game scoring cards in the game. You're going to start with a choice of 2, so you're going to start with 1, and then later when you move on your mine track, you will then be able to get 1 more, which is then an open draft of 4 cards. Again, there's some randomness here. There can be like, oh, you on your turn you get to take with the card, and then a card that's perfect for me comes up, and I will be able to take it if of course I am in that position. So that is kind of like, again, a kind of like a randomness which can swing the game, because some of the cards I feel like feels easier to score than others.
Yeah, and they definitely give you a direction. The first card that you get, you want to try to aim for that.
Yes.
And sometimes you can, as you said, be lucky to see if like some of the cards are available already or some comes up later. Fits perfectly for what you're trying to achieve. But I like to, when I play this game, look at the cards available and see if it fits the one that I already have, and hope that I get to the point where I can get one before the other, so I can snag that.
That is true. We talked about a lot of the gameplay. So who do you think this is for, and what do you think is the weight of the game?
I think this is between a light and a medium game, like a little step up from maybe the simpler tile laying games.
Yes.
But I think that this is a game that could fit many types of people, because you can use this like I have. It is simple rules-wise, but I have a lot of fun and meaningful decisions while I play it.
Absolutely. I think this might be a good like step-up game for families, as you said. I think it might be, yes, I basically agree with you. I think it might be a good fit for actually quite a few people. And now we're going to talk about the 2 most important things. Is it fun? And the final thoughts. But before that, if you are getting anything from this video of value, it would mean a lot to us if you could give us a victory point.
And we get victory points when you click that subscribe button. You can also click the bell to get notifications every time we post a new video.
And put in a like and a comment, and now we're done with all that YouTube stuff. So now we're going to go to the interesting things, which is the final thoughts, and you can, as always, begin.
Yeah, I really enjoy this game. It was a pleasant surprise for me. I had no expectations to it, but it is very fast. It is very easy to get to the table, because you can play it with almost everyone. It's very simple and fast to set up. It's easy to teach, and it's fast to play. Also with 4, we haven't played it with 5, but I imagine it wouldn't take more than 90 minutes, and I'm super happy about that. So I think this is a game that I want to keep in the collection, and I'm going to give it at 8.5.
So sorry to the people who own it, we're not going to give it back.
That's true. I forgot that we borrowed it.
What did you give it?
8.5.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
That is high. Okay, that's cool. I really like it. I think it's a great game. I was like already thinking, well, I knew what you're gonna give it, and I was gonna give it 0.5 bit more because that's usually how it ends up.
What were you going to give it?
No, but I'm gonna do my final thoughts.
Okay,
I think
cool.
it's fun. I think it's great fun. This was one that surprised me a lot. And the first time I played it, like in the beginning, I was like a little bit unsure, and then halfway through, I was like, okay, I just want to play this again, and I want to do it more because it's not super deep, but it's very clever. It has a nice tension of the draft where you're like, oh, I hope I get, oh yay, finally the tile I want is out, but you took it, no. But you get to do cool stuff, and I feel the scores have been pretty tight. Very, like, many ways to go, many strategies to go for. You can go for like trying to fill the most of the board by going to big tiles. You can try to do better things with smaller tiles. There's so many ways to go, and I really enjoy my time with it. It's one that I agree. We actually have. We're gonna buy a copy, but we're not gonna buy it for $16,000. But it's gonna be a game that I think that we will play again, and it's absolutely gonna be a game that I will bring out with 5. Because right now, like 60 minutes with 4 means it's probably gonna be like 75 minutes with 5, which is a perfect time. Really like it. I'm gonna give it an 8. Cool. I thought you were going to land at 7.5 and I plan an 8. So, because I'm usually like 0.5 over you in positivity. So yeah, I'm going to give it an 8 and that's going to be the end.
Cool.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm Johannes.
I'm Senua.
And you've been watching Board Gaming Ramblings. And bye-bye.